Hey everyone, here is a quick preview of the St. Patrick's Day projects we're working on today. The repaint of these two cute little gnomes to be found at Dollar Tree, and the repaint of this Lucky PotOGold also found at Dollar Tree. Okay, so the first paint project of today, back this up a little bit, is going to be the St. Patrick's Day Lucky PotOGold. And I've said this before when I hauled this, but I'll say it again. I like to paint on both sides of my sign. So the back side of the sign is perfect for a Halloween bubbling cauldron. So I will be careful not to get paint on the back of this, but just keep that in mind that we will see this piece again later this year. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and paint the lucky side. So I'm gonna start by painting the cauldron itself, and I'm going to mix the apple barrel colors Kelly Green and Pavement. So, and then you can get these foam brushes from Walmart or from Dollar Tree. I got these at Walmart for 87 cents, and I've not yet opened them, so I'm just gonna pick one. I like to use a smaller foam brush than, you know, the big round ones, even though I do actually really enjoy the round ones as well. So I like to mix my paints. A lot of people are like this. So, but you do have to use pretty saturated colors. So I'm gonna use a good amount of the Pavement. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna mix in just a touch of this Kelly Green. I live at high altitude, so it's no surprise that is very pressurized. And we are just gonna try to dab this off as much as possible. And I just realized I don't have a paper towel, and I probably needed one. Ooh, but I do have a regular towel, so we would use this. Okay, so I'm gonna put a towel on my lap because that's where I wipe my hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do a really light mix, and you don't see much of a color change, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just add some more of this super pressurized Kelly Green. The reason why is I don't want it to be super harsh. I want it to be a little bit whimsical. So we're changing the color from kind of just a normal gray to maybe something with a little mystery. This would also be really fun to add some glitter paint to. And then we're gonna go ahead and just start. And the thing about sponge brushes, when you go ahead and put that first coat on, it really does thickly coat. And the reason I start with my darkest color, or my, I guess not darkest, but just my main color first, is that for all these other little nooks and crannies, you know, you have the opportunity to go over it. I am gonna be, you know what, just so I get everywhere, I think I am going to paint over my letters for right now, but I'm going over those with a metallic, so it still should show up. And if not, well, let this be a learning lesson to us all. See that I try to have my brush strokes match the shape of the pot itself, and that is just because even though we're using kind of a flat matte color, oh goodness, even though we're using a flat matte color, I do want to be mindful of like motion, and obviously the way items are perceived has a lot to do with motion. So there's just kind of a tip for you as well. So it feels more three-dimensional rather than two-dimensional. I'm gonna flip my little mixing tray over and set this brush aside to be cleaned later. And then I'm going to pull out a round brush. Here is a round spongy brush, and I'm going to pull out just a basic yellow color. So I have this one that's called King's Gold, which will be perfect for what we are doing. And we're just going to dump a good amount of that, and we are going to just dab. Now again, with these round brushes, the coverage is awesome and just fantastic because you can just literally get deep, and even where we have this black, you can cover that almost perfectly. And it's okay if there's a little black in your gold, because remember, gold does tarnish a little bit. And there we go. Now where we have these, we can just go ahead, prepare our edge a little bit, and we're going to put some gold marker on this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some texture so it's not so flat. Again, where I made little oopsies, just a touch of black. I am playing a losing game right here in this corner, though, I will tell you that much. So we are going to go ahead and let that dry. So back on this project, I love using a good metallic Sharpie, and we're going to try these two out, and if that doesn't work, I also have this chalk writer gold pen, which I'm also interested in testing out to see if it'll work. But first, I'd like to see about using these. So what you're going to see here is some trial and error with the metallic Sharpies, and the green one really didn't show up at all, so I'm going to go ahead and transition here in just a second to trying out this more bronzy gold one, and as you're going to see, that one didn't show up nearly as much as I wanted to either. With these projects, it's really important to give yourself some grace and just be patient with the process, and as you are going to notice, the chalk writer from the Dollar Tree is going to end up being my best bet overall and will show up the best. And sometimes you just have to be brave and try a product you don't know very well, or try new things. Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks awesome. So even though this says it's a chalk writer, it really comes off more as like a pastel. I love the gradient and the variant that it gives. And if you need more, you just push it up. I do know that there's some people who will actually make kind of a wax melt with crayons by just melting down a crayon, and will kind of paint with that. I've never tried that. I'm considering it though with another project, so I don't know. If you're interested in seeing me do science on art projects, I guess stick around and subscribe for some more videos. Okay, coming in with another voiceover. So as you're seeing in this section, I'm doing a variety of tactics to get the most product off of this chalk writer and onto the letters. It's more than just coloring on it, going up and down. You know, there's a circular motion and pulling away the excess that's there and kind of trying to blend it in with just your bare finger if need be. And at the end of the day, I'm realizing at this point that the coverage is definitely a little bit patchy, so the best thing I can do is come in with a second layer. And one of my best pieces of advice when working on a project like this, step away, try to look at it in a different light and see what you're missing and where. So obviously coming back in with a second layer and also doing a little bit of touch up with the black where needed is really benefiting me. The coins are, I'm gonna bring this in. I'm just gonna do a nice thick hard line. And then I'm just going to do some swirling. Really saturate it with this metallic. And if you find that it's kind of coming up on you, you can swirl it like that and press it in and just keep going. No product left behind. Now I will test this to see if setting this kind of chalk or pastel works the same as setting a normal pastel, and if you can do it with hairspray, which I do when I actually use my really nice art pastels, but we will have to see. I am not positive that that will work, but it is worth a shot. The other way you can store a project like this is in a large gallon-sized baggie, just so it doesn't bleed onto any of your other projects. That is about good right there. Oof, that's a mess. And then again, you can kind of just take this in. Yeah, that is very oily, like a pastel. Interesting. That was not the texture I expected it to be. When you heat it with your finger, which, let's be real, none of us are too old for finger paint. When you heat it with your finger, it really kind of melts down into a more pliable, workable texture. Very interesting. Crafter Square, I'm telling you guys, they are coming out with all sorts of crazy new stuff. Yeah, look at your fingers after that. Let's see if I can blend in this bit. Oh yeah. Oof. I kind of like the tarnishy that the black underneath is giving this kind of chalk pastel-y texture. It's really interesting. Looks kind of old and worn. So yeah, I am loving that for that project. Excellent. All right, I'm gonna go wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So we're gonna accent the corners of this again to make it look a little bit more 3D. So I'm gonna come up here and I'm just gonna do like a little, like kind of cartoon bubble, and then maybe another little one down here. And I'm not making them mirror perfectly because that's just not how things work. And then I'm gonna kind of come and do one of these, like a big swoop, kind of emulate the lip of this special pot. And I'm going to give it a little break and then keep going on the other side. And again, I'm not making it perfect because projects like this shouldn't look perfect. And we're going to do the same on the handles. And the same on the belly. So for this one, I'm going to start beyond the foot to kind of delineate a difference. Come around the foot like that. Nice big swoop. And maybe a big swoop kind of mid-belly over. And then up along the side like so. And then maybe one right here and a little one here and a little tick up here. Yeah, I'm liking how that looks. And honestly, I guess we need a little one here to accentuate the curve of it, and right there. And there's that. That is pretty much good for accenting our, giving a little bit of comedic animated action to our pot of gold. And then for this kind of oily texture, I'm only gonna make really tiny little curves to emulate some coins, right? So I'm gonna kind of give that. You'll notice that this marker kind of just vanishes into the texture of that, which that's okay. Does not need to be really anything crazy fancy. And see how much of that's coming off. It's very pastel-y, so I will caution anyone who chooses to use that product from Crafter Square. Really unique product. I do really like it, but definitely use your Dollar Tree markers and not your really high quality markers with it, just in case. And we're just gonna do some more. And again, it really doesn't need to be perfect. It's just kind of a whimsical, like really kid-friendly art project. And I think I might add some touches of glitter, but that is gonna be that for that project. There is our Lucky Pot of Gold. You know what I will do? I am going to go ahead and add my version of a 4-leaf clover. So for that, I'll zoom you guys in even further. So I will do one right here. So how I do this is I make 4 hearts. The easiest way, by the way, to make a clover. My mom's side of the family are Irish. St. Pat's is a big deal. We always made a big dinner, and sometimes we had people over, and it is always a good time and a good party. So there is your first clover. I'm still new to this. And I'm gonna let this project finish drying. Maybe I'll do one more little thing. I have a hard time saying no. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so while we're waiting on all these other projects to dry, I'm gonna get started on some repaints of these funny little gnomes. So I love these guys as they are, however, this one in particular really does not match my decor. So first things first, I'm gonna see if I can detail paint, change his beard. But before I do that, maybe I'm gonna change his jacket. Yeah, I think I should change his jacket. So looking at my colors, I think that just giving him a dark green jacket is my best bet. Now I am gonna grab a detail brush for this. And obviously you want a soft tipped brush. Okay, so I have some options. So, as you guys can tell, I actually paint quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and squirt some of this paint. I think maybe I wanna darken it a little bit. I'm gonna take that pavement again. I'm gonna start with this brush. It's a little sketchy, but I'm gonna start with this brush. So we're gonna mix it first. And it's definitely a really dark green. Some people might tape off their projects. I like to keep a really thick consistency. Now, I will tell you, sometimes you have to take a break on projects like these and let them dry before you move on to the next section. I am going to keep his pants red though, I think. I do think that I like the red pants. It might look a little Christmassy to some, but that is okay. And I am going to change the beard color, so I'm not really worried about if I get green paint on the beard. I do think I'm going to paint over the belt as well. Might go in and add a more metallic belt. I know a lot of people do repaints on these gnomes, but a lot of people do them for like specific seasons. I'm looking for just kind of a good year-round little gnome. I don't know if you guys know this, but in Scandinavian cultures and lore, gnomes and trolls, while a sign of mischief, are also a sign of good luck, and they look after your livestock. So for me, I was very interested in getting some more, because I am Scandinavian on my daddy's side. I was looking forward to getting some more gnomes to keep out year round, because I have livestock. And I wanted that good omen, always watching over them when I'm not here, which is rare. I'm pretty much always home. Now, I'm sure you could probably go even slower than I am, but since these will probably be living outside, I'm not terribly worried about perfection. So we're just gonna continue. I don't know, maybe I will change the pants. I'm really enjoying that red though. My house has a lot of red and a lot of earthy tone reds like that in it, so maybe I will keep those red. Don't want people to think he's Christmas year round, but I'm going to change his beard, so maybe that'll help. I was thinking about doing a red beard. Maybe I'll do like a brown beard or something. Not that there'd be anything wrong with having Christmas out year round. I could have Christmas out year round. I love Christmas. That's made a huge difference. He doesn't look so cheesy. Not that there was anything wrong with him being a little cheesy. I think I'm going to keep his hat blue too. I don't know. Coming in, doing a few more little details. And you might just want to turn them around and see if there's any spots that are a little light or a little faint that you want to paint over. little gnome, and I'm going to change his red hat to this green as well. Starting to look like a totally different little man. Maybe I'll do a little accent. No, I think I'll leave his pants the way they are. And then where this little check is, I am gonna go ahead and accent. So next up, I'm gonna take this chalk writer and I'm gonna see if I can make any, see, it makes a little bit of a difference. I would have rather done this with gold paint, which I thought I had some. But even just that little touch on his shirt makes all the difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix just the cardinal crimson and some nutmeg brown and see what we can come up with from that mixture, and if that will work for our little gnome man's beard. So we do not need a ton, and I want to keep it more red than brown. Let's see if I can do that. Might be testing my skills. Oh, well. Okay, so a lot of you are probably about to freak out. Oh my gosh, you're using the same one, and I sure am, and that's just because it's going to add a little bit of whatever earthy green is left on that. And let's see, I don't know, maybe that is too red. Maybe we should add a touch more brown. Okay, well, that was a lot more than a touch. Perfect. Okay, so start on the back. Oh yeah, that is a good color. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. And to kind of try to protect what we just painted, even though it's okay if his hair comes over it a little bit, I'm going to try to paint upwards. So upward motions. Like I said, the beauty of painting is truly nothing has to be perfect. Coming from the top by his hat, we're going to just come down and kind of just meet in the middle. Ooh. Like I said, with painting, nothing has to be perfect as I swipe a bunch of red onto his hat. Quite adorable. So we got our little red guy. Now I'm going to take that color and I'm going to change this one's beard to a brown. So we are going to add even more brown to this mixture. Oh wow, that was a lot. Wow, his hat is a lot browner than I realized, so he very well may be getting a hat change. I loved his little yellow jacket, so I wanted to keep that. How cute he is with his little white beard brother. So how stinking cute. I don't know, maybe I will keep his hat red. So here are the two that we have painted so far, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one with his white beard. I don't know, what do we think? I think that those little guys are all really cute and fun together. And there you have it. Here are the final products of our little repainted gnomes tucked away by my kitchen cabinets in our cute Lucky PotOGold. Thanks for coming. Feel free to like and subscribe for more. Thanks, guys. Bye.